Hi, digital art students. So I know that you all have been eagerly awaiting this week's assignment, and I do apologize. I just was sicker than a dog and couldn't do anything mentally. I just couldn't. Physically on Monday either. So I'm back now. I feel so much better. This week, what we're doing is just opening up Inkscape. So my Inkscape icon happens to be down here on my toolbar. I like that. I have two of those open. Um, and what we're going to do is just go into the help button and look at the tutorials because they've got these really awesome tutorials in here. What's great is they're built in and they're interactive. So as we do these tutorials, which is really cool, you actually can manipulate what's happening on your screen. So now that I've got my tutorial pulled up, I'm just going to minimize that one because I don't need that pulled up anymore because I'm going to be able to do everything in this Inkscape tutorial. Okay, so really fun. All right, you're just gonna read along the tutorial. So this tutorial demonstrates the basics of using Inkscape. This is a regular Inkscape document that you can view, edit, copy from, or save. The basic tutorial covers Canvas navigation, managing documents, shape tool basics, selection techniques, transforming objects with selector, grouping, setting fill and stroke, alignment, and Z-order. For more advanced topics, check out the other tutorials in the help menu. So very cool. So here we go. Panning the canvas. There are a number of ways to pan or scroll the document canvas. Try the control plus arrow keys. So I'm holding down the control plus the arrow keys. So I can arrow down, arrow up, I can arrow right, I can arrow left. So how cool is that? You can also drag the canvas by the middle mouse button. So if you have a middle mouse button, you can scroll up and down. You generally have to, yeah, my middle mouse button doesn't work that well. Or you can use the scroll bars. So press Control B, show or hide them. So Control B. Okay, so now they're hidden. Control B, now I can see them. So that scroll bar is this bar over here on the right. So if it's hidden, just hit Control B and you'll be able to find it. The wheel on your mouse also works for scrolling vertically. Press Shift with the wheel to do it horizontally. There, now my wheel is working. Couldn't get it to work. If I press Shift, it scrolls horizontally. Zooming in or out. The easiest way to zoom is by pressing the minus or plus key. So practice that now. Minus. There goes. A little slow delay, probably because I'm recording. So I'm hitting plus. Plus. One more time. Oh, I can make it nice and big. Hey, we can read that a lot better now. Now I'm scrolling down. All right, the easiest way to zoom, oh, we already did that. You can also use Control plus middle click or Control right click to zoom in. So hit Control and right click. Ooh, great. Then you can do Shift middle or Shift right to zoom out. So hold your Shift and right click and it zooms back out. Good. Or rotate the mouse wheel with the control. So I'm hitting Control. It's not going to work for me right now. Or it says you can click the zoom entry field in the bottom right corner, type a precise zoom value in. So right now it's at 283%. I could make that 300%. Hit enter and it gets a little bit bigger. That's kind of nice too. And we also have the zoom tool in the toolbar on the left. And can you guess which one that is? Well, if you hover your cursor over each tool, there it is, zoom, that makes sense. It's a magnifying glass. It'll tell you what each tool is, okay? And F3 is the shortcut for that. So if you have a function F3, you can just use that to get into your zoom tool. And then you can just go in and let's gotta click on it, make it effective. Okay, so click on that. Now I have my zoom tool. Okay, so if I click, it's going to get bigger. And I'm pretty sure it's if I hit shift, nope, not shift, freezer. It is shift. I just was expecting when I held the shift button down that that little plus sign would turn into a minus sign, but it didn't. But if you just click on it normally, if you just click, it gets bigger. If you hold down the shift key while you're using that zoom tool, it will make it smaller. The other thing I noticed is that when I hit my left click, it gets bigger, and when I hit my right click, it gets smaller. So that's another cool feature. I'm going to go back to my pointer tool. Okay, so my computer actually froze up for a minute, and one of the things that you want to know about Inkscape is it uses a lot of your computer's RAM, the random access memory. And so if you get into a situation where your cursor freezes up, take a look. Do you have a lot of programs that are running? Maybe you want to close some things down so that your computer has more RAM available. And also, when you are doing projects, you want to save constantly because there's nothing like getting a whole bunch of your drawing completed and suddenly it freezes up and you lose all that work. So constantly be saving, okay? File, save as, give it a name, put it in your folder, and then just constantly going back to save. Control S is save, so you can just get into the habit of hitting Control S every, couple of moves, and you'll always have your work saved and don't have to fear losing it. Unfortunately, losing work is one of the realities of working on computers, and it does happen. And unfortunately, you don't get to use that as an excuse for not submitting an assignment. Every single one of us, you can ask any teacher that works for Utah Virtual, will be able to tell you at some point in their career they forgot to save and created an entire 5-paragraph essay or maybe an entire 7-page paper for a college class and oops, didn't hit save and something went wrong and they lost all that work. It's happened to every single one of us, okay? So we try to warn you, we try to give you the heads up, we try to teach you to click save a lot because it's happened to us, okay? Um, so, but I can also guarantee you that no teacher in the history has ever been like, oh, that's too bad, I'll give you full credit. No, they're not going to give you any credit until you redo it. So Inkscape also keeps a history of the Zoom levels you used in the work session. Press the, I don't even know what that key is. I tried to find that key on my board and I couldn't find it. It just, that didn't work for me. So I don't know if you can figure out how that works. Maybe you can let me know. Inkscape tools. So the vertical toolbar on the left, this is vertical, up and down. This is the left over here. Shows Inkscape's drawing and editing tools. In the top part of the window, below the menu, there's the commands bar. So nice. With general command buttons and the tool controls bar, which with controls that are specific to each tool. The status bar at the bottom of the window will display useful hints and messages as you work. Many operations are available through keyboard shortcuts. So when you open Help, you can go to keys and mouse reference. And if you want to, you can just print that off and keep that on a piece of paper taped down on your desk or on the wall in front of you if you're really interested in learning how to use your shortcuts. Creating and managing documents. To create a new empty file, you're going to use the File New default. So File New, and it just automatically creates a new page for you. Or press Control N to create a new document. To create a new document from one of Inkscape's many templates, go to File, New Templates. Well, probably just going to click Templates, right? So, because when you click on New, it just automatically creates one. Or open Control Alt N. To open an existing SVG, let's make sure that that is, yep, there it is, Control Alt N. To open an existing SVG, that scalable vector graphic document, use File, Open. So you've got something already saved. see, and I'm sure that I do. For example, in my, yeah, it's not there. Where's my pictures? Maybe it's in my libraries. There they are, digital arts. So yeah, here's some SVG. This is probably in, oops, no, that wasn't an SVG. That was saved differently. Let's see if I can find, you can tell because, let's see, yeah, it's JPG. It's not an SG. SCB, SB, what am I trying to say? There, no, here's an SVG file. Ah, there we go. So it opens it up in Inkscape and I can actually see, haha, see what I was telling you about before. I'll be able to see if you did the work. Okay, got a little bit too much going on with my memory and unfortunately there, it's really slow, but I'll be able to click on all of the different components of your work. So that's why I require you to turn things in as an SVG so I can actually see that you did the work. If you try to paste a document off of Google into an Inkscape program, it's not going to let me, um, see all of the different parts of it. So I'm not going to accept that. So please, I have had many students try to pull the wool over, and it just doesn't work because I'm not going to accept it. So you end up having a zero. So don't waste your time cheating. So have you ever noticed some people will spend more energy trying not to work? I mean, it takes them longer to try not to work than it does if they had just done the work. I know people like that. So anyway, just continue going down this tutorial. So you're just doing this first tutorial. You'll just read along. It's going to teach you how to create shapes. So when you do create some shapes, you click on the square, and I've got quite a lag going on, and it's because I'm trying to make a video at the same time. There we go. Now I can create one. So it's going to teach you how to make rectangles. It's going to teach you how to make squares by holding down different keys. So yeah, it's a really cool program. You can change the colors, and the cool thing that I really like, you have to go back to your pointer. Okay, so one of the things that I love about this tutorial is that you can grab all of these shapes and move them around. I'm having a little bit of difficulty because I'm creating a video, and every time I do something, it slows things down. But all of this is manipulatable. So as you're moving down, if you decide that you want to bring a shape down a little further into the tutorial because you want to use it to demonstrate how to do something because you can't see it on there anymore. You can just drag it down if you want to, and you can play with it there. And I just think that that's a really cool feature of this tutorial is that it does allow you to manipulate what's on the screen. So enjoy that. This is a really fun thing. And when you get finished with the tutorial, I'm just going to have you open up a brand new Inkscape document, or if you want to, probably an even better idea, and I like this much better, is while you're doing that, have your second window open and do your tutorial. If you have two monitors, it's so much better, but you can actually, let's see what happens if I go to about 60%. That's pretty good. I can go ahead and if I wanted to, I could copy something over there and I could paste it over here. Um, that's something that I can do for fun. I can grab my tools over here and play around with them. So I'd love it if you would just fool around, okay? As you're going through your tutorial and you're learning how to fool around with stuff and manipulate things, you can manipulate it over here on this screen. Let's say I'm change the color of that. There's just tons of stuff you can do. You can change colors of things. You can change the outlines. You can do gradients and things like that. So if you're in the process of switching some things up over here in this window, you can just drag them over and put them into your document. So like, unfortunately, my computer is going super slow. And so like I can copy it and I can just come over and paste it. That is actually an egg that I had manipulated. Your eggs are gonna, oopsie, you gotta make sure that you have the right tool. Right now I have my cube tool, so I've got to get up and click my arrow. Otherwise I can't move it around. So anyway, you can just have fun. So show me some evidence in a document that you did go through this entire tutorial and learn how to do all the cool fun stuff in here. Okay, so you can fool around with it over in on one side where they're actually showing you the tutorial. You can fool around with their objects and things, which I can't do because my computer is super slow. But then just like copy paste, you know, the things that you did over here. Or if you want to do a whole completely separate, you know, design of your own from scratch over here, you can do that too. So I don't ever like to limit anyone, but the easiest thing to do would be to just do all of your manipulations over here with the tools and stuff that they give you, and just practice over here on this page. Then you can just paste some of that stuff that you did over here. But if you want to take it a step further, you can actually just create yours from scratch and fool around with these. No, no limitations. Have fun with it. If you want to make your design representational so that it looks like something like a dog or a cat or a person or some scene, if you want to actually create something representational, that's great. If it's not representational, if it's just like this sketch pad full of ideas and zany things that you tried, that's awesome too. So whatever you want to do, sky's the limit, but do that tutorial and get to know how all of these tools work so that next week we can have some more fun and do something a little more representational. That's all I have to say, I'm pretty sure. When you're finished with that, I guess I should show you, you're going to File, Save As, and you can call that week 2 assignment. And you will save that to your digital arts folder that you have, and your week 2. So I'm going to create a new folder, week 2, and save it there. Now that saves it as the SVG, and you do have to submit that SVG file. So then you actually have to export it. Okay. And the way that you do that is you click export, and I'm just going to click this little export button down here. I could have that exported it as a ping automatically. Export as is going to bring up this dialog box, and the difference, oh, that's also going to do it as a ping. So it's going to save it as a ping. It's not like GIMP where I get to save it as a JPEG if I want to. So I'm just going to go ahead, and it's in the right folder. It's in my Digital Arts 2016-17 Week 2 folder. So I will save that. Okay. So that's great. Now that I have saved that, why did I do that? Because you'll notice if I go into the Digital Arts folder, and let's say you have submitted to me the .svg folder, okay? Notice I don't see a picture of it. I see this Inkscape block. That is telling me that the only program that this is going to open up in is Inkscape. So when I double click on that, it's going to automatically pull it up in Inkscape. There it is, okay? It's not going to open it in a viewer, a previewer, nothing like that. If I want to actually be able to open it in a program that lets me look at it, then I'm going to have to open it. I'm going to have this saved as a ping, okay? So that allows me to, I can also, I believe I can change that to a JPEG just by clicking .jpg. Change file name extension, the file might become unusable. Are you sure you want to change it? I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. And perfect. So now it's a JPEG. The thing with the ping is that it uses fewer colors, and it just, the JPEG is more for like photographic images that are realistic. So enough about that. All right, go ahead and do your tutorial, and make sure that you save both the PNG or JPEG and the SVG file format, and turn both of those in. So I want to see, the reason why you're turning this one in is because this is the one that I can actually right click and copy and paste into my PowerPoint. I can't do that with the SVG. SVG doesn't let you just copy paste stuff out of it. It just doesn't work that way. So yeah, if I want to paste the picture in here, it's got to be the PNG or JPEG version. Okay, and that's the reason behind that. Have a great day.